good afternoon, good evening, good night to all the Two Halves and a 45 family fans. Welcome to the Two Halves and a 45 show with your co-host, Mr. L, Mr.
Controversial, but I ain't no mister.
But he ain't no mister. Welcome back again. I know you didn't expect this one, but I keep telling you guys, we're going to give you surprises. We're going to give you more. And Mr. L is working on a new episode and prepare to be dazzled by dissension. Tension, meaning up or down, people. Meaning up or down. Anyways, so today we're going to start off with the weekend report in the Prem. Tottenham v Man City. Over to you, Mr. Controversial. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Tottenham has always been a bogey team for Manchester City.
And the two goals came very quickly. Yeah, but Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
We've seen it a few years back going into the Champions League finals where they pipped them to it to, make the finals with Liverpool. They've also, I believe Manchester City has never beaten Tottenham on their grounds, their new grounds at least. And, they didn't have really a great record on their old ground. So it's really one of those teams, especially being that Manchester City isn't really where they really need to be right now. It could go up in the air because Tottenham is on a losing streak. They don't have a lot of players that would be able to be their core to be able to even put on a show for them. But still, being that Tottenham has been such a bogey team for Manchester City, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But I'm thinking this time Manchester City will overcome Tottenham just solely because of the injury list. So that's what I'll say.
Well, for me, the ball is round. Let's get it on, boys. Let's get it on. Tottenham right now has all their players in a hospital bed, bruv. It's like COVID just ran through that whole team. Nope, not meaning that I will respect everyone that lost their loved ones from COVID because it was a terrible situation. But there is nobody for Tottenham. All of these guys have left, have gone, are missing, like the kids from the Blair Witch Project, bro. Just like I said that. Lots of injuries for Tottenham. Manchester City had a dazzling time with Liverpool last weekend. You could see the class between both teams, but I think they're still not at their best because both teams at this point are conceding a lot of goals. A lot of goals. So with that said, I would say 2-1 Tottenham if it was 3 weeks ago. Gotcha. But it looks all like Manchester City this time.
Yeah.
With that said, we are going to move on to the second topic. And the second topic of the day is we got to go to Europe. So a lot of the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League teams have now qualified for the second stage, including Manchester City, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, top teams like those. You still have a few teams in the Champions League that needs to qualify, but overall, the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League was hot this time round on match day 5. Newcastle, I would say, you guys, that was a controversial penalty. Paris Saint-Germain did nothing, and the group of death got upended by Dortmund. What a Champions League. What a group. Over to you, Mr. Controversial.
Yeah, all I have to say really is that the next morning somebody was pretty happy looking at their bank account. And I'll say that much because I was confused. Me, 1-0 Newcastle PSG. Me, very next second, penalty PSG. What is going on here?
What was that?
I mean, again, very controversial penalty. Hitting the body, then his arm, and his arm is in a moving motion of running. I don't know what they expect you to do, but again, your thoughts, Mr. Controversial.
Listen, it is ridiculous. I get it. The ball touched his hands. Now, if the ball bounces off on another part of your body and then touches your hands, dude, I don't get me wrong. We do know that these players can do some amazing things, but why would you even want to have the ball touch your hand? Explain that to me.
In your own penalty box.
In a penalty box. That's stupid.
No. In your own penalty box.
That's come on.
I mean, you work so hard from, I'm not sure when they scored, the 10th minute, the 15th, the 16th minute, until the 95th minute now, because nowadays you have to gauge it about 95 minutes. To go ahead and just say, oh yeah, let me just go defend in such a way where the ball ricochet off my body and just hit my hand so I can give the opposing team a penalty. That's a great job. But the VAR is very controversial because, again, with VAR, with the referee, telling the referee seemed to have had a good game up until that point, and telling the referee to go take a look at the monitor with people pressuring him and his pressure. Now, we are all humans and we do make mistakes. And I would say that's a very controversial call about to award that penalty. It's similar to Manchester United going 1-0 up, 2-0 up,
another one,
2-1 up,
another one,
3-1 up,
another one.
Then coming back to make Galatasaray get 3 goals. So it ended up 3-3. That was a cracking match. Very much disappointing for Manchester United. But also I could say again, if I may shift gears a little bit, Newcastle is going on the up. I believe Newcastle is going up, up, up. Not past Manchester City or Liverpool, but that's where you finish, bud.
I mean, hey, you know, they have been on great form recently. I mean, they did, you know, lose a player.
They did lose a couple players.
They lost one to something serious. It's called sports gambling.
Up on what ground? I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
Man. Shout out to Nali. But anyways, so just
it's a shout out to Nali.
But honestly, granted, they really did lose a pivotal player in Tonali, but they've been strength for strength ever since.
The other players have stepped up.
Yeah,
they have stepped up brilliantly,
and you know they're going well. So yeah, hats off to them for sure.
Yeah, they have stepped up, and in the Europa League, I believe Liverpool have qualified. Brighton also qualified, and the only thing left, I think West Ham also qualified. So the English teams are doing very good in Europe, and need not to make no introduction about Unai Emery and his Aston Villa team, which continues to impress as we speak. So it was a good showing in Europe, a very, very good showing. But for our next topic, we're going to be talking about a series of controversial topics, but good topics, because it is time. Everybody, you should be ready. The shuttle's outside. Grab your gas. Bring your guys. Bring your drinks. Bring your stuff. This is your corner. This is our corner. I promise to shorten the intro, but it's too good blood. The controversial corner with your co-host, Mr. L, Mr. Controversial, brothers from the same mother. Bet you never know I was gonna say that. We're going to start off with a controversial corner by talking about some good news. And it's the Liverpool striker Mo Salah that's almost up on 200 goals, 199 for Liverpool. What an amazing achievement, because if anybody knew Mohamed Salah, he was not a recognized goal scorer. And from Liverpool brought him back to the Premier League for his second coming, he has now officially became a Premier League and Liverpool legend. When he does score that 200 goal, this show want to be one of the first to say congratulations to Mohamed Salah for breaking another record, for becoming such a wonderful footballer. Thank you, my friend, and continue to support Liverpool, continue to support Egypt, and continue to do all the humanitarian work and all the work you do, and continue to score goals for the fans, man! So congratulations to you, Mo Salah. Wanted to give you a shout out. Now we're going to talk about Manchester United. And Chelsea. 4-4 with Manchester City a couple weeks ago. Thought they were back. Got touched up by a stricken and sickly Newcastle.
Pause.
What is going on? Man U drew with Galatasaray and got pumped up by a stricken and a sickly Newcastle.
Pause.
We thought they were back. False pretenses. Over to you, Mr. Controversial.
Man, so guys, unbeknownst to you, then this I'm talking directly to the to our fans here. Unbeknownst to you, when we do these shows, well, at least for me, when I do the dissensions, I do it because, yeah, I want to poke fun at a team, of course, because I mean that's what football is all about. I also do it to give you an insight as to what's going on the team, but never do I wish for that team to remain in the mud per se. Especially when it's a big team like Chelsea and Manchester United. It's really sad to see these teams fall from grace in this fashion. It's really disheartening, but I mean it's football. Sometimes these big teams, they do fall. Sometimes the newer teams do rise. It's cyclical. So maybe Chelsea will come back. I don't know if they'll come back. Pochettino did seem I never really thought that he was the right fit. They do have a lot of young players. They're not ready yet to really make a challenge. Manchester United, on the other hand, I have no idea. I don't even know where to start.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, I thought Chelsea was shambolic.
Just to interject 1 sec. Would you say Chelsea would be the equivalent of the early 2000s Arsenal under Arsene Wenger? Remember when they decided to go all young players? Bakary Sagna, Cesc Fabregas, Samir Nasri, Emmanuel Adebayor. And I think they did have some old heads in there, which was Mikel Arteta, but Mikel Arteta was still young, which anybody doesn't know. Mikel Arteta used to play for Everton and he played for Arsenal. Yeah, I think that's where he retired, right? From Arsenal. And so at one point, I was thinking that because these kids would grow up, and I could say Olivier Giroud too, because these kids were growing up together, I thought they were going to be a formidable force. Would you equivalent that to the same approach that they're taking or not?
Not at all.
You can continue with Man U.
Right, and excuse me, and the thing about that is here's the difference. The difference between Arsenal doing that back in the day is those players were young. Granted, yes, it's the same vein in a sense, young, talented players that they could grow with. But most of these players, or some of these players at least, did come from their academy. So it was kind of a thing where they're trying to mesh their academy with young and experienced players, typical to what many teams do to refresh. Chelsea went about it a little bit different. They're just getting name players. I don't think they're actually getting a player to play their system. They're just getting a player because he has a big name. So two different systems, two different approaches, and that's why their approach is really showing fruit. It's not working. It's not.
And Man U, Harry Maguire, season player of the season. He's been doing
my pick
well.
for player of the season is Onana. Onana can't
fumble.
Keep
Oh yeah, drop it in the back of the net. Oh yeah. Getting that all onion bag bulging. Oh yeah. Yeah, shut up, Onana, bro. Come on, man. Hey,
Listen.
man, David De Gea is still sitting on his tail, not doing nothing. You might want to recruit that man.
Listen, it's
very
sad.
controversial.
It is sad.
Yeah, welcome to the controversial corner, blood.
Yeah.
So, we already know that Chelsea's going somewhat and Man U is going somewhat. I don't want to put the decline yet until we all see it personally. But what about this new thing for our last topic? This sin bin business that they're trying to introduce into the Premier League. What is going on, Mr. Controversial?
Yes, the sin bin, it's really, oh man, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I do get it, the suits and the higher ups, they're trying to find different ways into getting young people to watch the game, but giving timeouts, what is this? This is
hockey.
Is this hockey?
Yeah.
Is this hockey?
Who? Yeah.
We on the ice, bro?
Yeah.
We skating, bro?
No.
We got to fight. Then we got to go to the
petulant child that needs to go in the corner that needs to get time out.
Listen, this doesn't work. I understand that they want to introduce innovative ways as to get more interest from the West. Understood. But this is not how you're going to do it. You do it by actually partnering with, people that kids want to be, you got to partner with what's in the zeitgeist right now. What are kids talking about? You got to have like these influencers and, do shows, that kind of stuff, even introduce a halftime show. But to change the rules of the game, to put in a sin bin, it absolutely makes no sense. All it's going to do is slow down the game. And people come to watch these players play. Now, if he's going to get off the field, you're going to give him a red card, give him a red card. But if he's on the field, he's going to get in a yellow card. Don't put him in a timeout.
For 10 minutes.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, again, we are not suits. So we are pundits, if you want to call us that, are insiders, if you want to call us that, or whatever you want to call us, just don't call us late for dinner, fam. But at the moment, we will just see how the sin bin works. It's similar to when they introduced VAR to us. It took us a while, and everybody knows the average human being does not like change. So again, before we go on bashing streak and bashing stream, let's go ahead and take a real pause, look at what they're trying to implement, see if it makes sense to all of us, and then we, the people, have the power to always change it. Without us, there is no game. So they know that, we know that, and they can try to implement whatever new systems or measures claiming to improve the game. But really, is it improving the game? That is a question for all our fans. Leave the comments in the section below. Is this new rule improving the game or not? Because we want to know just the same as you want to know, because this is our game. This is your game. Just like this is your show. This is our show. Just like I want to say thank you for coming on the controversial corner. Once again, I know you probably be tipsy. I know you probably be in the sky, but this is your corner. It is our corner. It is the controversial corner, blood. Thank you, everybody, for coming on the Controversial Corner once again. Now, before we go, our final topic of the day is Girona. 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 Need not to make no more introduction. The La Liga is heating up. The Bundesliga is cooling off because no, it tarnished Hurricanes' record of not scoring, but it didn't. It just delayed the inevitable, blood. It delayed the Englishman from sipping a pint because he's been drinking pints all the way straight to the bank. Now, in the Farmers League 2 in France, League A, ain't nothing going on that's not knowing. Routine, PSG up, everybody else somewhere down south, and we are gonna move on, blood, to Italy. Give them a shout out. Juventus seems to be back. They're churning out wins after wins after wins. This is going from Juventus to Inter, back and forth. What a title race that's heating up. And don't leave out Napoli because AC Milan should be in the mud with Man U, with Chelsea, and with the rest of them that don't get the program. With that said, what are your thoughts?
Well, we definitely said a lot. Girona.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Girona for sure. I don't know what Manchester City is going to do when Girona wins the La Liga because, you know, they can't both be in the Champions League.
No, God!
So,
Well, I know what they're going to do. I know. They're going to get relegated to non-league football, blood, so you don't got to worry.
I hear the Shadow Realm's lovely this time of year.
listen, well, we'll see because they did set the court date. But yeah, Girona has been doing very, very well recently. It's shocking, surprising, really. But yeah, I'm here for it. They did.
We all are here for it. Even
Right.
so, don't forget Benjamin Mendy. You got Manchester City better pay that man. Pay that man for
Right.
suffering and for not believing in that man. They should have stood by that man because they know, just like the rest of us know, what goes on in a private settings, stay in a private settings, and that is where I'm going to leave it at. If Benjamin Mendy did something wrong, a jury of his peers found that he did nothing wrong. Okay? I didn't say that. It's a jury of his peers, not once, but twice. So, Manchester City is facing 115 charges. Man, I wonder if they're running for the United States presidency because the Republican guy is facing 90. They're out trumping even Trump, blood.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not a political show, everybody. We just make jokes of what we see always, okay? So, just so you know, everybody, not a political show. Yes, and we don't side with anyone. We just call it down the middle, right on time. Just we talk about facts. Your turn, Mr. Controversial.
Right. And going back to the Scudetto in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Juve has been on great form lately. Inter also, they've been on great form. They drew last week, both of them. So, you know, good on them.
Yeah.
They both dropped points, but at the same time, it's better to draw and get a point than to lose and have none.
Always.
AC Milan, they have been turning around recently because they did win their last game. So I will say,
yep, Captain America scored.
Yeah, at least we can say for sure that it's great times, good old times for our American boy. over there in Milan for sure.
Oh,
because
definitely.
he is scintillating right now.
Definitely. So before we go, everybody, I just want to run off some quick score predictions. We're going to start with the Premier League, and I'm going to start doing it more quick, more fast, more efficient. So let's start. We're going to start with Arsenal. It was 2-1 to the Gunners, 3-1 to Brentford, 5-0 to the Burnley, 1-0 to the Evertonians, and the Newcastle put Man U in a split.
Yo, that one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it.
We're going to go down to Spain, talking about Girona. 2-1 to the Gironas. Atletico Bilbao, 4-0. Real Madrid, 2-0. Osasuna share the spoils with Real Sociedad. Down in Syria, Genoa and Empoli share the spoils. Lazio 1, AC Milan 1. Now we're down into the Farmers League number 1, aka Germany. There was no match for Bayern because they're keeping all them beers on ice. Bochum has won. Gladbach has won. Leipzig has won. Stuttgart has won. Now to the Farmers League number 2, which is League League A. So Lens has won after they got drummed by Arsenal, and Notts has won. And there was a few FA Cup games, but we're not going to get into that because there is too much to read off of this. Now, we're going to go ahead and say, and the Sunday's Premier League match, we won't do Tottenham because that match hasn't started yet, but we gave you guys our score prediction. More likely it's one of the two, either Tottenham winning, Manchester City winning, or there's a draw. 3 outcomes, you pick one, send it in the comment section down below. Bournemouth is 2-1 up against the Villains. Chelsea's putting Brighton in a split. Liverpool seem to be on vacation somewhere because they make Fulham score 2 goals on them. West Ham and Crystal Palace is sharing the spoils. And in La Liga, a lot of scores hasn't gone yet, but Mallorca and Deportivo share the spoils. Almeria and Betis are playing at the moment. Barcelona and them are coming later. Serie A, now, let's say, and Bologna share the spoils. Fiorentina is up. Udinese is sharing the spoils with Ellis Verona. Roma and Inter are going to play later. Dortmund is also going to play later. Mainz and Freiburg are playing at the moment. And Augsburg and Frankfurt are playing later. And if we didn't mention, we're going to talk about PSG, where Mr. Mbappe continues to dangle, even though Donnarumma saw red. Bastia is winning. Monaco is winning. Toulouse and Lorient is in battle, locked with a 0-0 spoils. So that's the score prediction live from us. There you go, everybody. Remember, this is your show. This is our show. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Like, share, and subscribe, and keep smashing that like button until your fingers fall off blood. This is the 2 halves and a 45 show. And we want to say thank you to everyone for joining us on your show, our show, the 2 halves and a 45 show. Thank you once again. Hopefully we made it exciting, lively, and ready for all you people. Have a good night.